Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? I hope that you are doing very well. Um, I am myself doing well. Hey, Brooke. Hi, Scottie Nona. Yay! We have made contact. Okay. No, you're not by yourself, Kathy. Are I'm gonna assume you guys can hear me. Left a good job in a city. Is that the River Queen? Hey, Joan Laird, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, so Chazzle McDazzle, right? Who knows who I'm talking about? Has anybody been watching the trial for one Mr. Chaz the Raz? All right, hold on. I give everybody just a second to get here. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, y'all just need to bear with me if I need to step out for a moment. Please forgive me. It's better than me coughing into the microphone and exposing you to grossness. People should never be exposed to phlegm on YouTube. Okay. All right. So I hope you all are doing well. I'm Jules of Thought, and today is January the 7th, 2022. Right? Okay. Now then, hey, Jenny Hansen, been watching the trial except for today. Well, today was crazy, Jenny. It was off the hook. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Hey, Thing One. Hi, Charlie Faith. Kathy R. I've already said hello to Joan Laird, but you know what? You're so special. You deserve a second hello. Another shout out for Joan Laird. Okay. So, Chazzle Dazzle. But I personally think Chazzle McDazzle, that's a lot better nickname than Chazzle Dazzle, right? Now, remember Neon Deion Sanders? Okay, he did shine like neon. Okay, he was a superstar, literally a superstar. Hey, BBT. Hey, Justice Scanny, welcome. Cinnamon, hot, hot, hot. Hi there. Yeah, so Neon Deion, he was a superstar. He shone bright like a diamond. So to choose the name Neon Deion, it's a little bit flashy, but hey, he himself was flashy. But Chazzle McDazzle, look, he's anything but dazzling. Okay. Now, you know how I love to make nicknames for these sadistic, ruthless killers, right? And I always try to make it a little humorous because I don't like the idea of giving any more of my peace of mind or my happiness to a worthless, sadistic animal, right? So let's try to come up with some kind of little funny little nickname to sort of rob the killer of their power, to reduce them to a character, a caricature, right? So we have, the fabulous Chadster. You make me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach, right? We have the fabulous Chadster. And then old Bear, can't forget about old Bear. And now we have Chazzle McDazzle. The problem with this, however, is that I'm not the one that made up the nickname for old Chazzy baby. Okay. Mr. Razzie Chazzy, he actually chose the name for himself, Chazzle Dazzle. That we learned today, that is his name on his Snapchat. Chazzle Dazzle. And CBD Timmy. How dare I forget our favorite drug dealer. dealing that good old marijuana in the great state of where? Colorado, where marijuana, THC, is on every corner in like stores. You don't need CBD Timmy. So I don't think CBD Timmy is a very good entrepreneur. He needed to choose his product a little bit better, right? All right. So Chazzle Dazzle was this Joker's name on his Snapchat. It's crazy, right? It's crazy to choose a name like Chazzle Dazzle. And like I said, Neon Deion is a name quite similar in nature, but Deion Sanders was awesome. Yeah. I mean, the guy was showboat. He did get a lot of attention because of his special skills. Well, today was interesting, Jenny, because we were able to see the questioning, the interrogation of old Chazzle McDazzle. Yeah. Look, watching Chazzy Razzy during the questioning was anything but dazzling. Did anybody here today, did y'all watch the trial today? Let's see. If you watch the trial today, put a 1. A big bunch of wishful thinking. Not special. Oh, no, not special. Sanders is my fiance's last name. Yeah, it's anything but dazzling, right? Yeah, so Joan, you saw him when he was being questioned, right? Kathy saw him, BBT saw him. Okay. So not dazzling. Let's use the word lackluster, right? I mean, it's more like, dim-witted Chaz, correct? Now, I do think that people were, based on the comments in the side chat and whatnot, I do think that people were dramatically surprised when they saw how beautiful Chazzle Dazzle's girlfriend is. She is absolutely gorgeous, no question about it. Her presentation was also interesting. Would y'all agree? Anybody want to come up on channel and give their, let me get a link here. I know BBT will come up. She's dying for somebody to talk to her. Thanks. All right. I just want to get people's opinions on the girlfriend in her presentation. I'm going to go ahead and do a whole show on my thoughts on her and her mother. But first I want to just kind of get some comments from everybody. So if you've been watching the trial, can you come up on panel, just give it like 5 minutes and just sort of voice what you think. I'll give you time to turn your camera off and everything if you don't want to be on camera. Nice, be careful or you might end up in my next video. You're getting very good at those videos, BBT. You're killing it, honestly. So young, also paying for all his food. Right, Lise? It's terrible. This guy, we always have people on YouTube that always want to point fingers and say, you're a narcissist, and you're a narcissist, and you're a narcissist, and you're a narcissist. And they get it wrong, probably 7 times out of 10, they get it wrong. Chris Watts was not a narcissist. But what do we know about old Chazzle McDazzle? That old list of DSM-5 diagnostic criteria, we got a lot of check marks on that list, right? For example, using this young woman, his girlfriend, using her for financial remuneration, as he lies to his father and says, oh yeah, I'm working. I have a great job. There's some sort of little problem, in the accounting department, but they're going to get it all worked out. Can I borrow $10, Dad? Realize that. You heard a sneeze, River Queen? I didn't hear a sneeze. Okay. So he's using his parents, he's using his girlfriend. I suspect he would use anyone that he could get over on. And it is, he would rather go to the ends of earth and back to tell a lie than to go ahead and get a job like everybody else. Isn't that interesting? So I don't know what's wrong with River Queen. Nobody wants to give their impression about what they think about the girlfriend, huh? Are y'all worried about it? Maybe you don't trust yourself? Are you ready to go up, BBT? I'm going to wait till BBT says yes.
Yes.
Okay. How are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Y'all are kind of snowy and cold up there, aren't you?
Yep. Snow day. Big time snow day today.
Big snow day. Well, good. It is
Punishing
beautiful.
the parents.
See? All right. So let's talk about this Chazzle McDazzle. What do you think about his socialization, his communication skills?
I think it's like what you said. Like I didn't see Chris Watts as a narcissist either.
Yeah.
I think the difference is like when like this kid thought that everyone believed his stories. Like it's insane.
Completely, yes.
Like he started making up the stories. Look, Chris Watts made up the stories after he got caught. Like the crap.
Right.
Because
he was
thinking his father's that dumb. His girlfriend, everybody around him he's thinking that everybody's dumber than he is.
Yeah. And he didn't just make up like little lies.
No.
His lies are enormous.
His whole life.
It's crazy that he got a job at SpaceX. Hell, he can't even get a job at the damn insurance as a salesman.
Did they ever say like why he started what? Because his whole life was a lie. So like, what was so wrong about his? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was he running from?
Yeah. No, I think I think as we get further into this, I think we're going to find out that he's one of these people that he felt like menial jobs, the low entry level jobs were they were not good enough for him. That he was supposed to have good jobs. And so he kept putting off. His dad was fussing at him and saying, you have to work, you have to go to school. But I think he was putting it all off because he felt like he was better than what he could get.
But like he seemed like to me that he was even running from something before he had something to run from. You know what I mean? Like he did an awful lot of work covering up his life and to not have anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like he was guilty before he was guilty.
Well, I think part of that is, hey, Joan, I see you trying to connect. It says your devices are not connected. So I don't. They will need to connect their. It says your mic or your webcam are not connected. Yeah. So I think too. Here's the other part of the equation. I think he ended up with a girlfriend who was really out of his league, and I think that she may have been vocal about wanting a better life. I'm talking about, financially, economically. And maybe because she had talked quite a bit about bigger houses or nicer cars or whatever, because she had talked an awful lot about that, maybe that was his pressure to sort of construct this life of achievement and purpose and future that really bore no resemblance to the reality. There was really no connection to what he was telling her.
Did you also find it weird, like with saying that, and like that totally makes sense. Like that pretty much like answers my question, because he does seem like he was desperate for something. There was a reason, obviously there's a reason, behaviorally why he's doing that. But and to that extreme was so over the top to lie about every single thing,
Yeah, I think he was desperate to keep her.
But he lied but every I can see lying relationship wise, but like to his parents, and I mean down to like illnesses, and I guess once you start lying you can't stop. Like probably
so
to that. But
so I'm not convinced. I will tell you this: I am not convinced that he fell down the stairs and got a concussion.
I don't think he even fell.
Yeah, right. And I think that the illness was the excuse for not taking the job, right? That gets him out of the job lie.
Well, they also said too, which kind of makes sense too, is that he got sick right after his brother got sick and was hospitalized, and it was immediately after. It's almost like he thought like, oh, that's a good idea. He's getting all this attention. He's getting excuses from everything. He can quit his job. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like they said that the timing in that it wasn't an accident,
Yeah, absolutely. There's two different points to that, and I don't know which it is. The first is that narcissistic thing where, anything you can do, I can do better. And so the brother gets sick, goes in the hospital. He's getting all the attention. Mom's crying and worried. Right. So he has to get the limelight back by having a worse problem. Or it was simply he got the idea saying, if I have a head injury, then I won't be able to work. After all, my brother can't work since he's sick, and that's working out for him. Everybody's accepting of that. Mm. So this is a way for me to get out of, the fact that I have no job. I can say I got fired because I wasn't working, and it'll be accepted by everybody because they'll be worried about me. Mm-hmm. So,
but he also wasn't that good at it.
It's horrible.
Some of the most like overwhelming. I mean, I don't really know anyone specific around here, but like some of the most extreme liars are the worst.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is I was going to ask you is like it was. I thought it was weird too that he would choose where he chose to put his parents' on his girlfriend's property. Like of all the places you could put a bot, like.
And what was the point of dismembering them if he's going to put them on the property, right?
Because I think my thought is that I think he thought he was going to have an easier time burning them than he did. I think that was his initial plan. And then he found out that he couldn't do it, like it was impossible. They said, which makes sense. That's what I think is that he, I think that was his initial plan. I think, I don't know.
Yeah. So what was your opinion of the girlfriend's mother and her fiance?
I think they were extremely good witnesses. I do. I think they were honest and like they were, you know what I'm saying? Like I think they were believable. I think they sealed his fate. I really do. I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Like I don't think they could have gotten better witnesses. There's no questions. They were very believable. I mean, the jury probably loved them.
Yeah. And then what did you think about the girl, Kat?
I didn't see her. I skipped over her because I wanted to watch her like closely, and I didn't.
Tonight. Yeah. So that happened today.
Yeah. Then I didn't see her. I thought she started yesterday, didn't she?
Yeah, maybe she did, and then
she did. I remember stopping yesterday to watch her.
Yeah, she was on for a long time. So, what did you think? Was there any?
I think I had a hard time initially believing that she was that naive, to be honest with you, but I don't know. I always think girlfriends, partners that are naive. I always think they should know more than they do. I don't know. How can you miss something like that?
Well, there were a couple of things that I felt were really uncomfortable.
I didn't think she was as believable as her mother.
I agree. I really like Cress, right?
Yeah.
Because Cress is just like no nonsense,
Yep.
to the point, deal with
Yep.
fact and be done, right?
And she's confident too. She was confident without being cocky, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think that comes from truth. I think
Right.
if
Yeah,
you're,
that's true. Yeah.
I think telling the truth, then it does. But I do think that there were a few things with Kat that looked a little weak, you know,
Yeah.
looked a little like a red flag. But I mean, ultimately, obviously, the prosecution, she's the star witness, right?
Yeah, she told. Yeah.
But I felt like there was a little bit there that.
Like, in what way do you think she knew more?
The community, so her actions on the day of the murders, the messaging that they did back and forth, switching over to Snapchat, that her explanation was really not sufficient
and to blindly show up with like cleaning supplies. She's not going to question, you know what I mean? Like, she's that naive that bring me peroxide at 6 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really, and then him saying one more thing, like
right.
she knew that he was doing something.
I mean, that's the closest person to him, you know, in theory, you know.
Yeah, even his brother, he really, I mean, he was close to his brother, but it was really through playing games online. They really weren't like face to face having a relationship. So she was kind of it. So there's a few things in the testimony of Kat that I felt like were very uncomfortable, and in those moments that I felt they were very uncomfortable, she took a great deal of time to answer, and ultimately would say, "I don't remember. I can't recall." Very careful.
I felt like that's just how her mother was. Her mother didn't strike me as honest as her partner was.
No, correct.
Her mother was suspect too, because like that whole dinner, she went out to dinner with him. Why would you go to dinner with your son-in-law, your whatever, your brother,
Thank you.
Alone? You know?
I thought that was very
like
strange.
That takes an extreme. There's only one reason why a parent-in-law, especially when you're not married to the person. You know, my mother would never have gone out to dinner with my ex, you know, just for no reason. You know.
Yeah. So, because I thought if you're taking him out in celebration of a job offer, well, why wouldn't the girlfriend be there?
Oh, right. And I didn't even hear that. I missed that. I thought she had concerns about him, and that's why she took him out. Remember when she was saying like he looked like out of it? I thought that was the time she took him out. Like, and the other thing too is mentioned in what you just said. Why, that was my next point, is why wasn't the girlfriend there when he was swimming for therapy that whole day? You know what I mean? That was a planned event. You know, like they just dismissed that whole thing. That nobody asked where was that girl. You know, it was 4th of July. She wasn't working.
No, there's definitely some curious, you know, because you arrive at the house and they say, well, the house smelled like smoke because you threw a ball and broke the glass. That doesn't make it smell like smoke. I mean, it explains the broken glass.
Yeah, and then to leave that bone, the jawbone in there, the evidence.
Oh, that went right by me. I didn't know there was a jawbone in there.
Well, no, maybe it wasn't a jawbone, but it was definitely a bone. They showed a picture of it right in the very beginning, and it was in the fireplace. And they said that all the police were like, it was out of place. They showed a picture, and it was definitely out of place. You saw like this white, like round circle in the center of like, and they had like, I guess he replaced the logs, the fireplace logs, so he cleaned the fireplace out, and he changed the logs, like, you know what I mean. And then right in the center of the logs, there was this white thing that looked out of place, and all the detectives didn't know what it was. And they brought in some specialist, and she was like, "Oh, that's a bone, a human bone." Right out of the gate, they knew that. You know.
Oh, so Kathy R says it was a skull.
Yeah, whatever it was a piece of her. One of them, yeah.
The remains of the skulls were in both skulls, Joan. Oh my God!
And
what
it was
a
so
sicko.
visual, Jules. It was like, it wasn't like it was in the back, like under it was right dead center in the middle. You couldn't miss it, you know? I mean, it was highlighted.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah, but see, that's that narcissistic thing, right? That there's no fear of getting caught because you're so much smarter than everybody else and you'll explain it all away.
I don't know, obviously. I don't think, remember that guy, that other psychopath that put his mother's head in the boiling pot?
That's Joel Guy.
Yeah, he was definitely more premeditated, I think, than this kid. I don't, that kid, that dude, at least, I think he was way more premeditated than this kid. I don't know. This kid doesn't strike me as too much. Either that or he's an idiot, you know?
Yeah. Justice Janney, we're talking about Chazzle McDazzle. His name is Chandler Halderson, and his trial is going on right now live. He is a young man, I guess now, isn't he 25 now? Or 23. Is he 23? Anyway, he murdered his parents July 1st. And so they're having the trial, and everybody's been watching it, and it's amazing. It's a unbelievable story. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So what about, wonder why he thought that he could dispose of the head in the fireplace, but then ended up carrying the bodies. You think he thought he was going to be able to get all of it in the fireplace?
Yeah, I do. I think he chopped them up initially, thinking I'm going to just burn piece by piece. I do, and then it didn't work. I truly believe that. I thought of that immediately. That's what he was doing. That's why he dismembered them. You can't throw a human two body. You can't just toss in a human body, and he's got to it's like wood. I hate to say it, but that's what I think. That was his theory. And then he realized he couldn't do it. I mean, the detective said that he wasn't even close to burning that head. So, I mean, I think he realized. And then they said that he, did you hear about how, like, one of the neighbors, like, I guess 2 streets over, saw that he was trying to make the fire, like, hotter because it was spiking. Like, they saw on surveillance camera or whatever, all the lights were out at like 2 a.m. on July 4th. And they said that they saw like a glow, an orange glow of fire, right?
Yeah, crazy.
And they saw it like getting increasing and then decreasing and then increasing and then decreasing. So I think he was trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to make it work.
He was trying to make it hotter, yeah.
Yep. And he couldn't. They said it wasn't even, there's no way it wasn't even remotely possible to, like, use a residential like fireplace to burn a skull. Like,
of course, an incinerator is made of steel, right? I mean, yeah, absolutely.
But I think that's what he screwed up. I think, and he didn't have a plan B. He didn't have a follow-up plan, and he said, "Oh shit, now what am I going to do?" And that's what, I don't know how he got from there to the daughter's property. I mean, the girlfriend's property.
I don't know.
During that time, I didn't hear anything about that.
She was at work.
Oh, okay. I didn't think she was. That's funny because I didn't think she was. Because that was my first question: is where the hell was she? Why wasn't she with him?
Yeah, she was at work.
But the parent, like the mother and her partner, were immediately suspect that kid was over there. Immediately, before he even did anything, they were suspect.
Yeah, they thought, okay. Well, and I'm going to tell you this too. Part of me wonders, his mom and dad had begun to ground him, saying that they could not be together. They couldn't hang out together. And
really?
so Kat was really frustrated and said, why can't we see each other? And he was supposedly grounded.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so part of me wonders if both sets of parents, if they sort of picked up and thought, this isn't a good relationship, this isn't going well. You have to wonder that the moment that he shows up, her mother and Chris are highly skeptical in the moment, immediately.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah. I think
before, because the mother's partner was saying how he asked for her phone number, and that was like why did he?
It wasn't that weird,
yeah. Like, so they even thought he was suspect before, and then and then the other thing that was weird too is that, like, this, I feel like there's a lot of pieces missing on that whole story with the whether the girlfriend knew it or it was just the mother, because like she was just like, she jumped around. She was like, you know how she said like, you know, he showed up. Everything she talked about was weird, but nothing was in between that. So she'd be like, you know, he got in the pool with us, and it was, and then, well, what happened before that and after that? How did he get in the pool with, you know, why didn't you say no? You know,
Yeah.
like, girlfriend doesn't have a top on. Why didn't you say
Yeah.
no? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Like, she was
absolutely.
suspect about that, very highly. Like, she was like, he was creepy, he was weird, da 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 da. But she didn't talk about any behavior that she didn't say. I asked him to leave. You know, I called my daughter at work, you know, and said, "What's up?" You know.
Yeah. No, I found the mother to be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's an uncomfortable setting.
Yeah,
Imagine your 20-year-old
I know.
daughter involved in something like this. I mean, it's
I
got to
just
be
think that-
horrifying.
I think that she just, I think she was probably more suspicious than she's leading on to. I think there just more happened. I'm not blaming her. I just feel like she's leaving out a lot of pieces to that, you know.
Well, you know, we all have that little voice inside, and some of us, you know, try to ignore the voice and get ourselves in trouble, and then some of us are wide open and want to hear the voice and use it to make good decisions. Like I said, it is a possibility based on what we know, that, you know, his family was saying you can't see her, you're grounded. Her family felt like he was off, that something was wrong. It's possible that they were picking up that something wasn't right, that he was an odd duck, that something was happening that shouldn't have been happening. I did think that it was pretty amazing. I mean, his dad is a very intelligent man. I thought it was pretty amazing that it went on that he misled his dad for a year on the whole job.
Wow.
Yeah, on the whole job thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was so strange. If that had been my daughter, the third month of that,
my mother would have known 2 days in.
Yeah, I'd have been like, okay, we're getting an attorney, we're suing, you're not going to work
Right.
another day with those people till they pay you.
Right, yeah.
But
yeah, the whole, and he was an accountant, the whole overpay, underpay.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I don't think his father did believe it. I think he was probably suspect and was probably doing his ground legwork, you know. Do you think that that's what kicked off the whole thing? That they said
absolutely. And I'm going to tell you what, I'll tell you, I'm going to, you know how I like wild speculation.
Is it Friday? It is wild.
It's Friday. This is one of the few times we're going to do wild speculation on Friday night.
Right.
So, if you go back to the video where the cop is documenting everything in the home, he documents, he's recording, he's got a video, and he's recording the tabletop in the kitchen area. And there's papers, envelopes and whatnot that they've laid out so they could see the mail and whatnot. There's a place there where there's a handwritten note that has the phone number of somebody named Pam. Okay. It says something like good luck or hope everything turns out, something like that. Phone number and call Pam. Next to it on the left side of that piece of paper are some insurance cards. Like there's like 3 or 4 cards. One looks to be like a health insurance card. Maybe there's a credit card. And I thought to myself, they cut him off. They told him, you're on your own. Here's your last $100 of gas money. Here's your health card for medical stuff, and don't come back till you have a job.
So you think it was more that than the father finding out the truth?
Yeah, no, I think the dad found out the truth. Well, we know that he did. We know he did find out the truth.
But he never got to confront him, right?
I think he did. I think he said, you've been lying to us all along. You've been lying to us about the job and whatnot. And we've been giving you money, and it's time for this game to come to an end. And so we want you to get out there and get you a job and make your way. So here's health insurance information if you need it. And here's your last $100 of gas money. Go find a job. That's what I think happened. And that's what ticked him off.
But you think that happened between the two of them, and then we won't know. Then they
hey, Joan.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, BBT.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. We can hear you, Joan, but it's echoing. So I need you to go to your YouTube and turn the sound all the way down on YouTube. And
Can you hear me now?
I can still
hear
you. No, your speaker is picking up my voice. Do you have headphones?
Yeah.
Headphones always fix the problem.
Come on, geez. You know how long this has been?
I know.
It's not something I do every day.
Come on, you've been doing it for years.
But anyway, BBT, so you said that you felt like the dad never got to that the dad never got to confront him.
Well, I didn't hear that he did. I thought last I heard that the father found out about it, and the son knew that the father knew that he was lying, and that's where it kicked off. There was nothing further than, and then he killed him. That's how I thought it was. I didn't hear that they had a conversation yet. You know.
I'm just guessing.
Because the other dude, the head, I hate to call him the head in the pot, Joel, he was definitely like cut off, and that's what did it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I think there's a lot of parallels to what happened with Joel Guy and this character. They're both even socially kind of clumsy and awkward even.
Yeah, they both had issues with jobs.
Yeah, I think Joan's about.
I can
see.
dip out unless Joan going. But
no, you're fine.
I just wanted to ask you one thing. You know, it was so weird. Did you see in his interrogation? I think it was today, right? They showed that.
It was.
Yeah. He defended his parents against his girlfriend's mother. I couldn't believe it. He was like, they don't even know my parents or something. Like he said it very sarcastically, very quick. But he was very defensive of his. I'm like, did this dude really just defend his like, like they were saying, like I think the cop asked him, like, did your mother know, did your parents know her parents? And he said no, and he said they did. I don't think they liked. They were too fond of my parents, and she said something like snide, like, but they didn't even know my parents. You know what I mean? It was.
Wow.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Joan, you're gonna have to unmute your microphone now.
Got it.
There you go.
I'm going to dip.
You can stay, BBT.
You can stay, BBT.
Yeah, very good. So it worked. There's no more echo, Joan.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. Retired.
Living the life.
Living the life. Watching the crime shows.
Yeah. So you've been watching Shazzle McDazzle.
Oh, geez.
He's a character, right?
Oh my God. I wanted to back up when you were talking about the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned on the chat that if you watched her and you were right, she did pause a lot and then say, I don't remember or whatever. But if you also noticed, Chaz that day was wearing glasses and she would often look at him. And I don't know if there was some signal between the two, but both of them were communicating, I felt, somehow.
I would agree with you. Do you remember the part where she is testifying and all of a sudden she says, can I take a break? Or can we take a break?
Yeah.
If you go back to that section and play it again and watch, right before she says, can I take a break? She looks over at the defense table and she clearly makes eye contact and then immediately asks for a break.
Right.
I think her attorneys were coaching her.
That's what I think.
Oh yeah. I didn't strike me as the kid. I thought it was her attorneys.
Yeah.
That very well could be. It was, but as far as the defense goes, I mean, they have asked some pretty pathetic questions in cross-exam.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was be sitting there and I think, well, if you were my attorneys, I might as well just, plead guilty right now, because you guys are
making like little funny jokes about cooking.
Stupid stuff.
Yeah, I thought to myself, what are you doing? This kid's life is dependent on what you're doing, and you're asking her questions about cooking?
Right.
That's very strange.
And the comment today about the tree, did you see that?
What was it about the tree?
They were talking about finding his mother's body parts. And they were talking to a detective or DNR person or something, and the guy said that he knew about trees, so he thought that tree that he saw where the body part, the legs of his mother were the same tree as what was depicted in the picture that one of his ex-girlfriends provided to the cops. And the defense says something about, well, is there a date so you know that it's the same tree? And he goes,
the one that he was hanging off of,
God.
that one?
yeah.
Yeah, and he took a picture like 2 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, there's no dates on trees. And I thought, woman,
I think they gave up before they started.
I know.
Wow. Well, the physician made him look really foolish with the whole drilling a hole in his head and.
Oh yeah, I know. He can't walk, but he walked in.
Yeah.
He's paralyzed.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what overall, Joan? Did you think Kat was? Did you think that she was overall credible, or do you think that there were some questions, maybe a few red flags?
Well, if I was sitting there and had to interrogate her, I'd be asking a lot more than they were putting out, because number one, how do you go to your boyfriend's house and not know that his parents are missing? Because she was there. She was there 2 or 3 days. And she was supposed to have a close relationship with her. I'm surprised she wasn't texting with his mother.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got the overall thing from Kat when she was testifying that she knows a heck of a lot more than she's saying.
Yep.
I feel
and
the same.
Somebody is making a deal with her.
The other thing too is, like, think about this, right? So the mother, she's working, right? And she said that she was suspicious of her own boyfriend that morning, so much so that she screenshotted a text message that showed his location, right?
Right.
Which was, right? And so then her mother is suspicious. Her mother's partner is suspicious, and they didn't communicate. She didn't call him right away and say something's up with your dumb boyfriend. What is it?
Right.
You know what I mean? I think there was a lot more between all three of them.
And like you said, the meal where it was just the mother and Chaz, that was odd.
Yep.
That was totally odd.
Yeah, very strange. And then I don't know why it wouldn't strike her as odd that she has to bring a Swiffer wet jet and hydrogen peroxide.
Right.
Yeah, and not just one bottle, she brought two.
Right.
At like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
For a little cut on your foot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But his testimony with our interview with the detective today was priceless.
Oh,
It's a joke. Absolutely. He's a clown. He's a clown.
Watts looks brilliant.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I honestly, so Joan, BDT and I talked about what we thought his motivation was. I mean, I'm sure that everybody, the money, the $1 million was, I'm sure that's at the heart, right? But what do you think he was thinking? And do you think it was planned? You think it was premeditated, or do you think it was the result of a blow up?
No, he was being called on the carpet because him and his dad, if you remember right, I think it was on Thursday or Friday, they were supposed to go to meet the person at the school to talk about, where Chaz's grades are or whatever he's going through. And he knew he couldn't lie out of that.
Yeah.
So the only way he could get away with it is to kill his dad, which he did. And then he delayed the time, so that he calls his mom, says, could you bring home some pop or whatever?
Yeah.
I think he premeditated the whole thing because he knew he was at the end of his rope. I mean,
because the dad had also found out about
Yes.
SpaceX.
yeah, the dad was confronting him, and that was the end of his rope. He was going to lose everything because his girlfriend and the girlfriend's mother was pressuring him to get a job.
Yep.
And it seemed like they knew more about him than his own parents, but I think his parents knew very much about him.
Yeah. I had said to BBT earlier that I felt like she was really out of his league.
Oh, yeah.
And she was probably sending messages that she liked nerds because they were smart and they make all the money. And he felt pressured to live up to that whole money thing. I mean, she was looking at a house that was $680,000.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy, right?
And then he says, well, I rented an apartment.
Yeah.
That's kind of
off of her mother, right?
Yeah.
Rented off of her mother.
Yeah. Well, and you
One night
remember Chris Watts, he was looking at Audis
Yeah.
the day that they all died. So why is she looking at a $680,000 house? Did she feel like there was money coming in? You know, it's a question. That's
that's a pretty good question.
And she didn't know he didn't have a job? You know what I mean? Like, she couldn't catch on to that?
Yeah, because she did say that she paid for meals usually when they went out.
So she had to have, she's not dumb. She didn't strike me as dumb, you know?
Well, why do you think she was paying for her meals? I mean, he wasn't exactly a catch, you know?
Right. And when I sat and watched that interview with him today, I thought, what in God's green earth does she see in him?
Yeah.
He has not one single thing to offer her.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, he's kind of paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah. They're gonna drill holes in his head.
Yeah, and he's gonna have a colostomy bag. So.
Oh, yeah. Why are you gonna date him?
And worse, yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
Do you think, like, what do you think about the whole, like, where he put the bodies? Like, do you think why he dismembered them? Like, do you think he was gonna try to put them in the fireplace? And that failed? Yeah,
I really do. I think he was going to put him in the fireplace, but then he realized that he didn't have a big enough blowtorch.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, yeah. Anything else that stood out to you about today?
No. It was just great to talk to both of you. It's been a long time.
It has been such a long time. Are you doing well?
Yes, I am.
Great. Very good.
So I keep tabs on you.
Oh, well, thank you. So you got yourself retired. And
yes.
You got a plan. You keep them busy every day.
Well, I raise chickens in my backyard right now. That's the newest thing, and we have 3 dogs and a cat. So I'm the chicken lady now.
Oh, you're the chicken lady. No cat lady.
I know.
Yeah. Just stay out of the damn kitchen, Joan.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip too.
It was great. It was great to talk to you, Joan. Thank you for coming up.
You bet. Bye.
Okay. BBT, thank you so much for your opinions. I appreciate it so much.
Jules, anytime.
Absolutely. I enjoyed that. Thank you. All right, everybody. So I just kind of wanted to do just a brief kind of discussion about Chazzle McDazzle, or what I call Razzie Chazzy. And then when I go live later on, I need about 2 hours, and then I'll be doing a live, and we'll kind of zero in on his testimony. Okay, I want to zero in on the interrogation that they played today, and some of the things that I noticed. But that gives us a pretty good overview. You got a good idea of where I stand with Kat and her mom and Cress. I think Cress is amazing, wonderful lady. I like Kat's mom very much, but I think that both she and Kat are highly pressured by things that Chaz has done. I think they're really afraid that he may try to turn the tables on them. And so he's trying to be very careful. And the opening statement was perfection. I agree, Lise. It was perfection. Yeah. I do think the dad was meticulously building a case against Chaz. I think the dad knew his son and knew what a liar he was, and that his son was going to say, oh yeah, but this, and he got him pinned in. He got him in a corner, and he said, here's all the documentation. You're a liar, and here's the final things you're going to need, and you're going to have to get out and get a job, or you're out of the house. We're done. We're not doing this anymore. And I think he panicked, not because he really didn't want to be away from his parents, but because he didn't want to lose Kat. And so he knew. It was kind of strange that the mother said, that Chaz could come live in their east room. I thought, why? If they're talking about moving to Florida, why are y'all offering for him to come live with you? So I think there were other things going on behind the scenes with the parents that either haven't come out yet, or maybe it's all just been kept under wraps. And since the parents are both deceased, we may never know, right? But the fact that it came out today that Chaz was grounded and that his parents were not allowing him to see Kat, I don't think you can underestimate the power that would have on a young man his age. All right, everybody. Well, thank y'all so much for listening. I appreciate it. Like I said, I need a couple of hours. I'll be back, and we're going to start going through the testimony. Okay? Thank y'all so much for being here. I'll talk to y'all in a little while. Bye-bye.